I wanted to actually. Alright. Good night, peoples. This is the Gamers at Large, episode 64 Redux Ultra Edition. I am your host, the Good Shepherd, and we're about to get it in. Here's our panel tonight. Starting from my left, we have Dr. Feelgood.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dr. Feelgood here, the guy with the smooth moves and nice tunes, always in a gaming mood. Let's get it on, like Donkey Kong. No, I'm kidding.
Right. Next, we have the esteemed Jamie wow, Jamie Butterworth. Are you Butterworthy?
Ken, don't ever do that again. Bad Ken, down.
It was my first time, and based
And the
on
last
my
time,
last
Ken, you
time.
hear me?
You do
You hear
realize?
me?
Stop trying to seduce our followers. It's not working, dude.
Okay, okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I should start. Maybe I should be more like the butcher flapjack.
Exactly. Sounds as awkward as that one time. Okay, tell you a quick story. One time, I watched American Idol for the first 3 seasons. Like season 2 or 3, before they went to Hollywood, or the first week in Hollywood, and they all had to come out and dedicate songs to their parents. This one dude comes out and he's like, "I'm gonna dedicate this song to my mom and dad." He goes, "Let's get it on," and sings the whole song. Really?
Are you serious?
Okay. Yes, that was awkward, Ken. You almost matched that level. Thanks.
Oh my god.
But in
Thanks
the
for
words
putting
of
that in
hey,
my head.
like the song says, almost doesn't count.
That's true. That's true. Except in horseshoes and hand grenades. But
Yeah, fail. Continue.
anyway, that's my introduction, guys. Butterworthy here. I'm here all week.
Nice. Alright, next up, Casey Liston.
Greetings, people. This is Casey Liston, your resident hunter. And sorry if I haven't been present in the web in the last, I don't know, month or two. I've been,
Damn right you haven't.
huh?
You're damn right you haven't.
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing Monster Hunter. I mean, you don't want to hear how many hours 470 hours I have in that game. So let's continue with the episode.
Noob. You have less than 700. Shame on you.
Holy shit.
Nah. Red Fox, you're up.
All right, it's me, Mr. Red Fox. How do you like this intro? They said that I was insane. They said I was absolutely out of my mind. They even said I was crazy. And they were right. I am crazy. I'm crazy like a fox.
Anyways. And the last week of gaming and the current week, we're gonna go over anything. Well, actually, let's say week is too boring. In the last month, any interesting releases that has showed up in May, and if you want, you could even tag the end of April. So any recent games that's come out, anything that you find interesting or noteworthy that may or may not have been overlooked, feel free to bring it up.
Splatoon Global Test Fire? You guys talk about that yet?
Oh, Saturday, that is such crack. We'll get to that, unless you want to go over it real quick.
Well, I've been looking forward to the game for a while, and I was excited to play the test fires. I almost played the one at 7 a.m. because I had woken up at 6:45 to use the bathroom or something. And I looked at the clock, I was like, Splatoon test fire. And then I was like, but it's a Saturday and I'm tired and I want more sleep.
Sploosh.
Yeah, but
All I have.
I was really impressed with it actually. I mean, you get to sample each of the major archetypes of weapons. And of course, Roller is amazing, but it's not OP. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, Roller's OP, you can't beat it." Yeah, you can.
Yes, you can. I've taken out a lot of rollers with my Shooter Junior. I'll
The
tell you up
roller-
front, the Ink Assassin rules.
That roller, I can honestly tell you, I play with that about 7% of the time. It's not overpowered. To me, the roller is kind of like Little Mac and Smash Brothers. It is very deadly, and it can easily get kills, but its slow movement speed, any shooter could just back up, and you cannot catch them while pelting your ass with bullets.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's been many
especially-
times I've been almost point blank with someone. It's like all I gotta do is just roll over them, and they're just backing up at the same speed as I'm rolling towards them, and I just feel like my body getting hit with 6 bullets, and it's like, damn it.
This
But
is exactly what I
That's like
do.
the slow
I mean,
I,
but,
I
input
but if
thing.
you see my video, I also did a ink sploosh and I killed like three of those bastards at once.
yeah,
Yeah, the
I've
thing is
taken
that
on a lot of rollers.
some people have just that mentality that Splatoon is a shooter and that's it. They don't know that it's another kind of shooter, a shooter that not only by shooting your opponent you have an advantage, but you can shoot around them and you can
Exactly.
limit their mobility. So it's a
Exactly.
it's a brand new game and a
It's
brand new
strategy.
experience.
Sorry to interrupt, Casey. My fault. Continue.
No, no, that's my whole point. I mean, the thing is, that's what they used to say at the beginning of Smash Brothers. Just like Dr. Feelgood said that Little Mac was broken as hell, but we found a way around it, and he's not even that that OP like we used to say.
No,
Now,
I mean, and the truth is,
Don't get me wrong. I'll still wreck you with my little Mac, but that's a different
I
conversation.
mean, no, I know, but the truth is, and I've had this discussion with Mega Gary Man many times, but he firmly believes that Lil Mac is way too overpowered. I said, dude, if you compare ground versus ground, no one can stand up to him. If you compare the character overall, even his Twilight degree, overall, he is a completely balanced character because he is shit in the air. Like he is
Yeah.
complete garbage, but on the ground,
In Smash,
like
you need to have good aerial.
yeah, and
So,
like him, he has no edge. He has no edge game. Like he has nothing to offer in the air except his upbeat special. But on the ground, oh, he can be a damn terror if you can keep him on the ground. So I see the roller as a little Mac kind of thing. It can spread in quickly, and it's easy to kill with. But at the exact same time, it's like, dude, anyone that would have brain can just back away and start pelting you with bullets.
oh man, I could go on hours on. I only played an hour and 10 minutes of the almost hour 20 last about a week and a half ago. There's so many strategies to this game. It's insane. People underestimate this game. This game is a lot of fun, and it's not just some random shooter. Like Casey pointed out, there's ways you could drop ink in certain areas to slow them down, all kinds of stuff. I use Shooter Junior, so I have a bomb, and I'll leave it at that. And the bomb has a timer, so beware of Shooter Juniors.
And what I like compared to other shooters is that none of your weapons are limited. And like, cause you play in another shooter, you get what, one or two grenades, depending on what kind of setup you got going on. Certain amount of bullets, this and that. Splatoon is like you got all the ammo and stuff you need, but you gotta keep replenishing your ink.
So
And
dark.
my favorite thing about this game, three things:
Fuck.
gravity, ballistics, and stalemates. No gun can snipe you across the map. The bullets have a really severe drop off rate, at least for most guns, at least the ones that were in the demo, or whatever. Even when I had someone in my sights with the charger, like they were like really far away, I actually saw where my ink would go straight out, travel so far, and just drop to the ground. Like I
It's
had them
called
square in
it's
my
called
sights.
physics, my friend.
Exactly, but see, other shooters don't really have this. Like if you play Call of Duty, I've been killed with a Magnum across the map. A
Like
Magnum.
I said, well, like I said, I don't know about those games, but apparently Nintendo believes in physics.
So that's my favorite thing about the game. And speaking about being overpowered, any weapon, the roller against the roller, you both die. And I've even a roller against a shooter, we both died because unlike most shooters, he let off a couple of last ink bullets before I rolled over his ass, and I still died in the process. So nothing in this game to me is overpowered thus far.
I disagree. There is one thing that is overpowered, and it's that ink strike where you call down a satellite strike of ink on a dude, or dudes, or area, whoever's in the hit zone. That is just ridiculous. It's cool, but it is ridiculous, and and it looks so very cool.
Well, you always gotta have an over-the-top weapon. Come on.
But see, to me, it's not over the top because yes, it does throw away the
It,
enemy's ink and
it's
place it in
dodgeable
your
though.
own,
For
but
the
it is
record,
a
it is
kind of
dodgeable.
it's a generally small area. I mean, it's not really small, but if you think about the entirety of a map, it's kind of small, and that whatever work it does, it can easily be erased within a good 10 to 20 seconds of putting down some more ink.
Yeah,
So
Oh
real
yeah.
nice.
I mean, it's a. I admit it's my favorite. I think it's a great special move, but it's like I can already see that. Like, yeah, the good thing about it is you can call it in, drop it on someone, or some area that you see is completely covered in your enemy's ink, and that could turn the tide if it's the last seconds of the battle. But it's not invincible. Just like I thought the killer whale was a cool weapon, but it does nothing for ink. It just can kill people across the map.
Oh no, man.
That killer whale is no joke. I died the most from the killer whale during
I
the
wasn't
test
even
fire.
I wasn't even talking about it in terms of as an ink deployment device. I mean, when I was saying the ink strike, I mean, what if you're going up against some people who don't know to spread out and spread the ink in multiple places, and you hit all of them with that one hit?
Well,
So you've got
that's not your
5
fault
seconds
that
where
people are
you just
stupid.
beat everything.
And that's another thing people need to remember, and they're gonna fail miserably. It's not about taking people out. It's about ink coverage. It's called turf wars for a reason. You're
The
marking your turf.
the only benefit it has to take out people is that you get about 5 to 10 seconds of free time of being 3 on 4 or however many people you knocked off. That's about it. But you get 5 guaranteed seconds of having your team having an advantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's it.
anyways, sorry to interrupt, guys. I know how we are, and I'm trying to make this podcast move along. We could talk about Splatoon for an hour straight at the minimum. I know that for a fact because my hands is jittering to play it this weekend coming.
Jittering,
See,
damn. Okay.
it's one of those games where it looks kind of it's okay, it's kind of cool, but once you actually play it, it's like damn, I want to next match, next battle, next match, next battle. And this thing, it's like what 10% of the whole game, not even. It's just turf wars. You gotta look into all the different modes
I
of this
mean,
game.
but before you move on, let me say this. I was watching, I think, a video. I think Mr. T was, I'm not sure. It had 9 to 5 gamers. He said the whole time he was playing it, the only thing that could go into his mind is, man, this demo's gonna end soon.
Yeah,
Like he said, that's all he was concerned about. Like, shit, it's gonna end any moment now. So what am I gonna do after it ends?
I shamelessly and I pulled it off, jumped into a battle 1 minute when it was left, and then we did it. It was like 2 minutes past the time, and then I still tried to jump into another match, which failed, of course, but I did it anyways. And I'm proud of that fact, and I'll probably do it again this weekend. But I mean, like at the end of the day, it's up to you. If you want the game, you want the game. If you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. The point is, don't pass judgment on a portion of a game, or if you never played the game at all. Try it for yourself. If you're not too sure about it, get GameFly or something. Rent the game. If you don't like it, okay, move on. Because that's one thing I've seen a lot in our community lately. People hate on games before even playing it. Like, I'll tell you, I ain't gonna lie to you, and this may seem blasphemous to everybody in the cast. I still want to play Order 1886. Will I buy the game? Hell no.
Yeah,
But
I
I'll
still want
rent
to play it as
but I'll
well.
rent
But
it and see for myself.
It is a
True.
gorgeous looking game.
It
I think
looks
you'll finish the game while you're renting.
I probably will. But I'm just giving an example. There's a
he's
lot
gonna
of
finish
games
the
that
game on his way home.
point is that people are too quick to judge games nowadays without playing it for themselves.
Yeah.
We have this follow the leader mentality, which is not cool. If you look at it, I don't know about the current generation of gamers, but if you've been gaming for over at least 15 plus years, gaming was not cool back then. You gamed because you
No.
wanted to. It wasn't because it was popular. It's because you liked playing games. And if you truly are a gamer from that generation or earlier, it had nothing to do with popularity. You played games for your own enjoyment. So what the general populace thinks shouldn't matter to you. It's what you think about the game you're playing. Like Shadow Fox says, are you playing games for fun? And I'm going to leave it at that because I don't say the exact same thing. That's played out. But yeah.
You should have said it. You should have said it.
Are you playing games for fun? Are you playing games to impress people? I still said it wrong. Who cares?
Look, man, I do it to impress other people. You need to understand that. I care what other people think about the games that I play. It's part of my social sphere.
You had to finish a statement because without it, you left me with comment blue balls. You had to finish it.
You gotta
Y'all
finish it.
stupid.
You gotta finish it. You gotta look. Can't stop, won't stop. You gotta see it through to the end. But like you said, we have to move this along. So let's talk about the
Three
list. The list.
speculations. Oh, that's true. Let's go over the list. All right. Should I go down the list, or do you guys want to make suggestions?
Before you go on, I just wanted to give a shout out to Sony because sometimes they throw flash sales that they pair with Steam sales, and thanks to that, I got a $30 game or $40 game for only $5. That game was Freedom Wars for the PlayStation Vita. Really good game and really
Ooh.
good price.
Is the
So
sale still going on?
no, it's over. It was
You
a flash sale, so
bastard.
it was only a couple hours.
Bruh, I
Yeah.
have a Vita too, man. Come on.
Oh, you didn't? Ah, I thought you didn't buy it yet.
I have the Vita. I've had it for about 2 months now.
Oh, all right.
Wow. Well, I got something that I would like
It's
to.
alright. I'll forgive you this time.
I got something I like to bring up. It may be a small, just side topic, but saw an article today where an ex Naughty Dog developer said that Xbox One and PS4 are not capable of 4K, and we are at least 2 generations from having 4K games. And I'm
At
just
least
wondering,
two
and
generations?
he said, he said, honestly, we're about at least 2 generations away from 4K gaming. He said the Xbox One and PS4 cannot handle that. They're not capable of that. He came out and said it. I posted an article on Google Plus today,
But,
and my,
but
my, my,
aren't
my response to that was, well, I wonder if the fans of those two consoles will take him seriously because they typically listen and believe everything that comes out of any developer's mouth. If you've heard the Wii U is weak, we couldn't get a Batmobile on there, and it's not capable, it lacks this, or it just wasn't for us. I mean, they believed all that stuff. So I'm thinking we're talking about Naughty Dog. They are a very, very talented development company, and this guy used to work for them. So it's like, I believe it because we barely even seeing. Not that I don't give a shit about resolution. I would say that right now, but these two consoles can't even get 1080p and or 60 frames per second consistently. Notice I said and or. Most of the time they get one or the other, but hardly ever both. So I'm
Sometimes
just
sometimes they do none.
yeah, true. Most times they do none, but I mean, but when they bragged about these systems, they was like capable of 4K, this and that, and you know, and I just thought to myself, I'm not trying to troll anyone. I said, but I knew this when they announced it, and even I know 4K is not a standard. Hell, even 1080p is still not a standard in media today. It's not. 720p is a standard for high definition in media. Only a few channels offer, 1080p, and I think Shadow Fox said there's only one channel he knows of, one network that offers even I think 4K, and I think it's like Food Network. But
I
that's
don't know
it.
about you guys, but I gotta see my food in HD.
I don't give a damn about no cooking HD. But I mean, you get my point. I mean, this is coming straight from a developer's mouth. And I'm just wondering, will it just be cast to the side, like he never said it, like, oh, he's just full of crap and doesn't know what he's talking about? Or will these same people that believe everything else actually believe him as well? I mean, it's a serious question.
I don't think they care. I mean, even though we all saw that thing where they were like, well, the reason we bought this console is because of graphics or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, most people buy games because they enjoy that genre or they enjoy that game or whatever.
Wait. Are you trying to say that people play games for fun and not graphics? Be careful
I
what you're
hope
saying.
so. I hope.
Be
I mean,
careful
like,
what you're
I
saying,
can
bro.
only use my experience, in all the years I've been gaming. I buy games because,
Um, also, let me touch on this before you continue on.
Where the hell is my
Um,
Vita? Sorry.
one of the responses to my comment was from Keith Norris. Shout out to him, by the way. I'm not sure if you guys have ran across him or not, but after you saw the article where it said it's going to be at least 2 generations before we see 4K gaming, which is, in other words, high fidelity graphics or whatever, his response was, and I laughed at this for a while. He says, "Well, how many generations before we can actually see great gameplay?" Because if you really think about it, it's like that's what they lack more than anything of all. It's like a game with great with great gameplay. He says, "So you talk about 2 generations for graphics, 4K? How many more generations for great gameplay?" And I couldn't do but laugh at that, man. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me, but I thought that was too damn funny.
well, I think that was kind of trollish, but whatever. I mean, here's the thing. Even if these consoles, even if Microsoft or Sony were going to make a console that you could get 1080p, the thing is that it would be so prohibitively expensive that it wouldn't even be, you know, it would be so prohibitively expensive that most people couldn't afford it. I mean, look how much a 2K display for a PC costs, and that's just for a PC. Look at the type of parts you have to spend in order to get the type of specs to support 2K type graphics, and the average console owner. I mean, that's why they're a console owner, because they want, a console is the lowest common denominator. It's supposed to be affordable so that the average person just go get something in a box, hook it up to their TV, and everything they need to play anything they want is in that box. We're moving farther away from that in modern gaming, unfortunately, but I mean that's still the general idea, is that everything you need to play that system is in the box. But I mean, if you want 4K, 2K, I've even heard someone say 8K for the future. If you want those types of graphics, well, you're gonna spend a pretty penny. You're gonna need a Steam bucks, I think.
I had to step away from the computer real quick. What'd you guys just say?
Oh, we can move on. It's no big deal.
Oh, my bad.
We're just
I will
bickering back
say
and
this.
forth about graphics. That's it.
Yeah, well, I heard most of it. I just stepped away about 20 seconds ago. That's because I'm foolishly looking for something which should be right by my desk. The joys of not living alone anymore. I miss those days sometimes. Anyways, people move your stuff without your permission. You know what I'm talking about. Um, yeah. So, guys, Revolution. I said his name wrong. You know who I'm talking about. Revolution.
Yeah, Revolution.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher his name. He said, any hopes for Project Treasure at E3? Also, what low-profile game are you guys most excited about? For me, it's Rodea the Sky Soldier. I won't lie to you, Revolution, bro. I freaking want that game. Rodea the Sky Soldier looks awesome. But that's because I love anime RPG type games. Although it's more of an action RPG, to be honest with you. What do you guys think? What low-profile game, like a game, like I guess mid-level and low-tier games, because AAA, everybody knows AAA. AAA is not the same as it used to be. So, what low echelon games are you really digging that you're excited for E3 and later this year?
Hmm.
You said what? You said what game? What now?
Lower tier, like mid-level and below, like a good game, but it's not like AAA.
Um,
I
well,
see.
mine's
Go ahead.
mine's. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say the one I'm really looking forward to, and I kickstarted it over like 2.5 years ago, is that '90s arcade racer. No, '90s arcade racer. That's the one. But I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but what this team has actually done is they've kind of taken an amalgamation of all the great like Sega arcade racers like Virtua Racing and Scud Racer and Daytona USA, and they're kind of mixing it into one fantastic game with today's standards. So
Oh
they,
my god, bro.
yeah,
That
they,
sounds freaking awesome.
it looks amazing. They actually about a year ago they apparently lost all their code to some random mishap that no one saw coming, so they almost had to start completely from scratch about a year ago. But they just this past week they released a 1080p 60 frames per second video of the Wii U version, and it looks gorgeous.
Bro, you gotta put a link in the side chat. I'm gonna have to look that up later.
All right, I'll get that pulled up.
As you halfway through your explanation, I already was sold.
Yeah.
Before you even got to the graphics part, I was like, dude.
Yep.
You got me on arcade racing.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as he said arcade racing, I was like, tell me more.
Oh yeah, I mean the cars they're using, they look like they're ripped straight out of those games too. I mean, obviously they had to kind of make them knockoffs since they can't, they're not part of Sega, but they basically have the Daytona USA car, the Virtua Racing car. They have like one or two recognizable vehicles from Scud Racing.
Mm,
Yeah, amazing stuff. And Scud Racing never came to a home console, so
okay.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. I want to use Jamie's Butterworth pick for a segue to mine. It's a game that I've been following for a couple of years already. It's been in a slow development because it's an indie developer and they're doing their best without Kickstarter. It's a racing game that is called Velocity Stream. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's a racing game, a futuristic racing game, F-Zero type, on which there's the main character, like the main player. That one is racing across an empty plane, and behind that character, they are creating the track, and then other players they have to follow him. It's a really good concept. Nitro Rat was talking about uh, uh, the Rayman Hoodlum Havoc side game that you could have with the Game Boy Advance. That it was a racing game on where the person that uses the Game Boy Advance they create the track, and the person that is playing with the GameCube is actually racing it. So it's a really good concept that I'm following. Very, very close. It's already green lighted on Steam, so it's called Velocity Stream. I hope you guys, take a look at it. It's already have a couple demos, so I recommend that to you and the audience to check it out.
Okay, I can dig it. I'm gonna dip into the quick Q&A real quick because there's a few interesting questions, but I want you guys to chip in. Is there anything you guys want to talk about real quick about that last question?
I'm going to go ahead and drop that link into the side chat over there so you can watch it while we're talking.
Awesome sauce. All right, I'll check that in a little bit. Oh, go ahead, Brett.
This Kickstarter came out and it was funded, and they blew through all of their stretch goals. But they're also, and I gave to it. It's the sequel to Shadowrun Returns, which is Shadowrun Returns Hong Kong. So, since I kickstarted the first one, I'm looking forward to the second one. And now they're moving it from the first one was in Seattle, the second one was in Germany. This one's going to be in Hong Kong, so we got triads and junk. So it's going to be awesome.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna briefly dip into the Q&A and then we'll resume the rest of the cast. Tony Konami Karan asks, how do you guys feel that Ucraft is finally a Wii U exclusive?
I was surprised to learn that it wasn't supposed to be initially because I thought it was.
Yeah, that was a weird question, but I figured I'll field it. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, but I'm really hoping that it kind of dips more into the survival mode aspect of Minecraft because they've been releasing these Minecraft clones on 3DS and they've been releasing them on Wii U, but they don't really have an adventure survival mode. And that's what draws me to Minecraft. That's what I love most. Not so much the blind creation mode, have whatever you want to do whatever you want, but I love going out and having to actually find resources and dig and work for it, and then building amazing things with what I found.
Yeah, that's why we both hate No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
It was
and
a great promise, but it was just a glorified walking simulator.
So it seems so far. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know the exact details on it, but you know.
Yeah, I
yeah,
hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong because that's one of the games that I was the most excited about.
yeah. I
Yeah.
had a lot of excitement for that game too initially. Now I'm kind of in the gray area, but like Jamie said, it's a good point. The whole thing is there's so many clones out there, and I'm gonna lie to you, some clones I love it because it is a clone of a good game. We need more creativity. So I'm hoping, like Jamie stated, that that aspect and maybe come up with some aspects that they haven't announced yet. They will come up with because I don't. I mean, this is me. I'm different because I'm usually multi-platform anyways. I'm eventually gonna own at least two, if not all three, of the platforms. So I don't want a game that I could get elsewhere. If I want an exclusive game, I want an exclusive game that has something exclusive to that console. Because if you just give me a slightly tweaked version, then I'm just wasting my money. You got to give me something that I can't get anywhere else, or at least do it in a way that, even though they do have different versions of it, it does it best there. And honestly, the gamepad is friggin'. People underestimate the gamepad. There's so much potential there, it's insane. And I'll leave that alone because I'm gonna go into my Nintendo fanboy rants. Anybody had any more things to say about that? Because we're
Yeah,
gonna move
on
on.
the other hand, going after the point you said, there's a couple stuff wrong with having clones, but there's also good things can come from clones. People say all the time that cloning things is not good, is not something good, but uh, out of cloning, we've created genres. There's people that say, oh, that's a Mario Kart clone, but it's not because it's a clone. It's a variation of that same genre that Mario Kart created. They always talk about the Smash clones and the Monster Hunter clones, but the thing is that we can't have only one game to monopolize one style of gameplay. It's okay to have something that looks like it, that resembles it, and have a little tweak, like you said, Good Shepherd. And it's like I say with Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is Monster Hunter, but Tokiden is Monster Hunter, but with demons. Freedom Wars is Monster Hunter in a in a science fiction environment, and so on. And that way you can expand the style of gameplay or the genre.
Which I agree with. I just don't want them to beat it to that. If they do it simple like that, I'm completely with you on that. I feel you. Just some of these people just keep going, and then it becomes the horse has been dead for 5 months, and yet you're still beating on the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. There's a point when you go too far. For example, zombie games.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love the original Resident Evil. I love zombie games in general, but in the last decade, I've kind of been done with the undead. Uh,
They're
it's,
everywhere.
it's been beaten to death for me.
Yeah,
Pardon the pun.
yeah. It's
I'm, I'm,
it's
I'm, I'm done. Like people are like always talking about Walking Dead and all this. I'm like, no
it's
offense to piss off people. I'm not with it. I'll probably
it's
watch
too
it
much.
eventually because I'm me being me. I love different stuff, and if it's well written, I'll check it out. But I'm not racing to watch. I'm not the type to follow the bandwagon. I'm not. Like I watched Lost 3 years after it was finished. Everybody was raging. The Lost was awesome. Lost is awesome. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch my Naruto or Ranma Half or whatever random Japanese stuff I was into at the time. Anyways, sorry, I'm ranting.
Um,
Do you guys have anything to
just
contribute before we move on?
just one thing. Casey was right about clones, but I would add a caveat. It Clones are great if you're inspired and it's a variation, but at a certain point it comes down to how great
Doing
the developer that's making the clone is.
creativity.
Um, well, yeah, it comes down to creativity. I mean, we all know about Sony All Stars, But what people don't know is that there's like 3 Smash clones that are great. That one of which did come out on the Wii. That are, I mean, yeah, they're Smash clones, but they're really well done. Or the 2 Jump All-Star games where you get to have Shonen Jump characters just beat
Oh
the
yeah,
heck out of
for
each
the
other.
DS, right?
Well, the first one's for the there was like 2 for the DS that like one was localized, and then there's the one on the 3DS. I mean, those are Smash clones, but they are really fun
Oh
Smash
yeah,
clones.
yeah. I tried them. Yeah.
Yeah, and on the topic of beating a dead horse, I think that there's a lot of people, particularly YouTubers, that need to realize that once the horse has been reduced to a grease spot, maybe you should stop beating.
Yeah.
For real.
Particularly when it comes to Splatoon. Because, look, at this point, people, I'm just sick of hearing about it. People either need to buy the game or don't buy the game. Just please
Exactly.
shut the hell up about it.
Exactly. I'm totally with Jamie on that. You either get the goddamn game or don't. Shut the hell up. Like my new tag I've been passing around in the game is large. Shut up and play.
Yeah.
If you want to play the game, play the game. If you want to say how awesome the game is, say the awesome game. If you don't like the game, just say real quick, I don't like the game. It's not my choice. Because we're gonna have different opinions. It's normal. We're human. They'll be like, okay, that's not for me, and we move on. Simple.
Exactly.
Okay, so Fast Ring Neo on the way. Anyone wants Sony to respond with a new Wipeout title? Oh, I understand Akila's asking that question, by the way.
Funny thing is, I actually tweeted at Shannon earlier, and I my exact tweet was, "Hey guys, so how's F-Zero or Fast Racing
Exactly.
Neo coming?"
Yeah, that's the ongoing joke, because we all know. Come on, dudes.
But Jamie,
it's
are they
absolutely-
actually working on it? Because all I've seen is some screenshots and no
Oh.
gameplay, no word about how the game is going on. It's just
You-
They
notice-
they
you
keep
notice they never
insisting
show
it's
any-
coming.
Yeah, and you notice they never show vehicles. They only show the actual like track outlay.
Mhm.
They have yet
Uh,
to show the vehicle. Did they show the
okay.
vehicle and I didn't see it?
No, I can understand you guys saying that, but I just want to stress: please do not overhype yourselves, because if it's not true and people get hyped up and they get mad, like they lied to me. No. You
Oh.
you upped your expectations.
Well, in that regards, you made a valid point, Red.
No one said
'Cause
anything.
people, we build up our own hype and then get mad when it doesn't meet our expectations. So in that regard, I feel you.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't carry it away. If we do, awesome. If we don't, oh well.
It's still going to be a good game. It's Shinnin. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been pushing both the hardware on the 3DS and the DS, I believe, and the Wii U. So, I mean, whatever this game is going to be, it's going to be awesome. So, I'm getting it either way.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Alright, cool.
Shinning is kind of like Rareware, that they have something really special that you can actually.
I kind of want Nintendo to absorb Shinnin into the garage.
Yeah, I wonder. It's like they can do metal really good, like metallic environments and
And
metallic.
Platinum and Monolith Soft.
Oh, that's too much. Well, they already.
They already own Monolith
Yeah,
Soft.
they already have a Monolith stuff.
Oh yeah,
As
they
long
did.
as-
That's
you know,
right.
as long as I know
That's right,
Monolith,
man.
yeah, Monolith hasn't done any game for any other company.
That's true. That's true. My fault. Continue, guys.
Yeah, but yeah, the thing is, yeah, I don't know what's going on, because there are developers that say, like you said, the Batmobile can't be on the Wii U and things like that. But Shinen is making indie games that put other developers in shame. So honestly, I don't get how they can be so hypocrite with proof in front of them.
Do we actually have to document that excuse? Come on, man. I mean, come on. It's kind of, come on, man. Come on, man.
It's
Let's
like-
just tell the truth. Warner Brothers didn't want to give them the money to develop that game on the Wii U. And I mean, Warner Brothers has been kind of stingy lately. I mean, we've seen those season passes now. Come on. So, I mean, that's why we're getting Lego toys to life now with the portal thing and all that stuff. They're
Why you
trying.
be hating, son?
Well, I mean, look,
Yo,
Warner Brothers is
at
not
the end of the
spending money
day,
like,
at the
you
end of the
know.
day, you gotta remember these are corporations trying to make dough. They might not always
Yeah.
make the best decisions for the long term. Sometimes it's just they want a quick cash grab.
But I do applaud
I don't agree with them, but that's what
Rocksteady with coming
happens.
up with some type of excuse that wasn't just like, well, I mean, they didn't pull an EA or a Bethesda or something, so I can't get too mad because Rocksteady knows this is their last game with Warner Brothers. They don't know where they're going to get their next crust of bread from, so it's better to not burn your bridges.
They need to make a Batman versus Superman game ASAP.
We'll see how the movie turns out first.
No, you know the rules. Make the game like 2 months before the movie comes out. It'll send gangbusters.
Yeah, but will it be good?
Yeah, that's the point. I can ask the same question about the movie. Will it be good?
Don't you know
Will
the
it be
rules?
good? Yeah.
Make the game look pretty. Make an awesome CGI trailer. Bam, you're good.
Yeah, but you still haven't answered my question. Will the game be good?
It's like, I'll tell you, after seeing Mad Max this past weekend, I'm really hoping the game is going to be even a quarter as good as the movie was.
That
You
movie
know
was
what?
pretty dang
That
awesome.
movie
know
was
what?
off the chain.
I
They
will
should-
never look.
They should make that game
Sorry.
open world.
That would
And
be
I'm
awesome.
not even
but
being facetious.
you would really feel the desolation. I mean, because Mad Max. Oh God, this isn't a movie review, but if you guys haven't seen this movie, go watch it because you will never look at Mad Max the same ever again.
I just want to be able to wield a flamethrowing guitar in the game. That's all I ask.
Okay, no more spoilers.
No more spoilers. Stop. Oh wait,
That's
wait.
like the first
Just-
5 minutes.
Just to let you guys know, this episode of Gamers Lodge is brought to you by the analog joystick, the Rumble Pack, the expansion pack, the anti-aliasing, the transfer pack, and the Pikachu mic. Get in or get out, as per Lupaccio.
It is not brought to you by the Virtual Boy.
Oh my
Or
god.
Come
Or the-
on, man.
Or the heartbeat sensor.
Or the Vita.
Or Wii Music.
Console
Or
that
the Vita.
flops spectacularly.
Uh,
Don't disrespect the 32-bit Nintendo console that flops spectacularly.
That made kids all across America colorblind.
Who needs color anyway? Everything's black and gray, so it's no big deal.
I know.
All
according
you
to
need
modern,
is that red and gray and red and black.
And
In the
splashes of
Virtual Boy.
red.
I know, and according to modern game designers, anyway, color is overrated.
Actually, now that you think about it, that's further proof that Virtual Boy was ahead of its time.
It was too ahead of its time. It was too ahead of its time. But seriously, can we use that as a segue to get into the top N64 games? And
Sure,
stuff that
why
we like
not?
about that system?
Let's
I think that'd be
let's go for it. Okay, so as you've already seen in the outline, we are briefly going to talk about what we loved about the N64, but we're also going to talk about that they probably should have done better. Although it's more focused on the love side, but let's be real, we got to point out what's bad too. Can't be complete fanboys. Anyways, you want to start in any particular order? Or anybody really hyped to start now? That I
We
can
should
pick up?
start talking about our first experience with the
Alright.
N64.
There you go. Let's start from left to right. Dr. Feelgood.
My first experience with the N64.
Your first experience, and then move on to what you really loved about the N64, and what do you have mixed feelings or straight out don't like about the N64? Since
No
it
mixed
is
feelings.
episode 64.
No mixed feelings. There was something I didn't like about the console. Really didn't. I think my first experience was Mario 64 or Mario Kart 64. One of the two games. I'm not sure which one. I'm pretty sure you guys won't argue with either one of those choices. And I can honestly say I probably put in over 2,000 hours in Mario Kart 64.
Battle
Um,
mode.
yeah, battle mode. Seriously, my friend or my cousin would come over. We literally sit there and play hundreds of games back to back, and most times it was about a 60-40 split. So yeah. Um, Another experience I really did love about the 64 was the original NFL Blitz and Diddy Kong Racing. I still have those two games. Um, I also love Wave Race. I hope they make an HD version of that because that water was ahead of its time. Other than that, like I really didn't have any complaints about the system. Not at all. I think overall it's one of the top three systems of gaming in general. Like overall, it really is. If you think about the number of innovations that thing brought with it when it came out, it's pretty much it's one of the top three in my opinion. So yeah, no complaints for the 64 from me, none at all. Plus, it was the last time I played Madden, so
that was the Madden graveyard system, huh?
nah, yeah, that was the last time I played it, and I actually enjoyed it. After that, I didn't care for it too much. But yeah,
Okay.
I create my own characters, and yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Um, you good? Because I'm about to move on to the next person.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. Red Fox.
All right. Well, the first time I played the N64, obviously Mario 64. I mean, come on, Mario 64. And I will be the first person to tell you that before I played Mario 64, I was skeptical. I was one of those people. There's no way they'll be able to transfer the perfection of 2D Mario into a 3D space. And Shigeru Miyamoto and Nintendo backhanded me with that game. I realized, my God, they know how to get it to work. Um,
It's me,
and
Mario.
yeah, I was like, what is this? And then, confession, I never really liked Mario Kart 64. I know that's like everyone's favorite Mario Kart from back in the day. I was always the Diddy Kong Racing camp because it had the better single-player mode.
Diddy Kong
So,
was better. Diddy Kong was better.
Yeah.
yeah,
I would even go
I
as
mean,
far as saying Crash Team Racing was better than Mario Kart 64.
yeah, but I mean, the reason I like Diddy Kong Racing was you had more options. Like,
For
Mario
me,
Kart, you just have a cart.
I'm gonna lie to you, I prefer Mario Kart 64, but I will make this disclaimer. I love the variety from Diddy Kong Racing, and they really should have implemented it. That was a total fail on Nintendo's part. They really need
Yeah,
to incorporate that somehow in the series at the very least, or bring Diddy Kong Racing back.
I would rather
One,
have Diddy Kong Racing brought back.
well, yeah, I figured you would, but that's a different conversation.
Ah,
Yeah, but enough about that. All I'm gonna say about Diddy Kong Racing is this: planes, planes. You had
Yes,
planes.
planes, man, come on. And
Give
hovercrafts
us
don't
the
count.
ability to fly. The hovercraft kind of suck, but the carts and the planes, perfect.
Hovercraft
Um,
didn't suck. They just turned too easy. So I always picked like the heaviest character with the hovercraft. Cause I'll be
yeah,
fast and I can do corners real easy without overturning.
my main character in that game was Drumstick because he's like supposed he was one of the heaviest characters and he's also the fastest. And once you got that in the carts how to pop a wheelie in order to do really sharp turns, it was like I just destroy everybody. But that's enough about that. The thing that I didn't like about the N64, and I know people are gonna be like, "What? You're a Nintendo fan? How come you didn't like the N64?" There were almost like no RPGs on the system. That's the only downside of that system is that there were no RPGs on the system, which is a hard thing to come from because you're coming from the SNES, which had tons of RPGs, to the N64, which had like 4.
what, you didn't like
So
Quest 64?
I bought that game. I begged my mom to get that game for me for Christmas, and I will tell you something. It's one of the worst investments. I still have that game that I ever made. Now,
Mm.
they kind of made the people who made that game know they messed up because the second game they made was Iden Chronicles: The First Mage, which even though it's buggy and glitchy, is still an RPG. But Quest 64, I was like, why? Why would you do this? The only
Because
good
they
thing about
can.
The only good thing about Quest 64 is the final boss music is really cool. But other than that, it's a terrible game.
Cool, cool. All right, KC, your thoughts?
I was lucky that my first experience with the N64 was the Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Actually, it was a borrowed Nintendo 64, and it was thanks to that that I opened my eyes because I always liked I always liked Nintendo, but for that generation, I was leaning more towards PlayStation because uh, there was the most RPGs. I was very into RPGs back in the day, and another reason that you could add to that, Mr. Red Fox, is that there was almost no fighting games over there.
Yeah,
Um,
that is a fail.
yeah,
Although
most
they
of
did
the
have Killer
Um,
Instinct.
I
Yeah,
gotta
come
disagree with
on,
you, man.
you can't hate on Killer Instinct.
Mace the Dark Age, Killer Instinct, Smash Bros. I had Mortal
Dark
Kombat Ultimate.
Rift, Biofreaks, of course, there were a
I had
couple,
some
but
fighting games.
most of them were on the PlayStation and even on the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was the best machine
Dreamcast had the
to
best
play
2D
fighting.
fighting games of
Yeah.
that generation.
I mean, when you look at the N64, which kind of spanned, up until 2002 or so, and during that course in time, it had faced down the PlayStation and the Saturn and the Dreamcast. What you need to realize, if we just narrow it down to the two stage systems, the Saturn and the Dreamcast, those were like the fighting systems.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you
Yeah,
loved fighting
hands down.
games, you had to have those two. And the N64 didn't have a quarter of the library even the Saturn had for fighters.
Yeah.
Honestly, N64 was platformers. It took platformers to the next level. That was about it. I mean, there's a few shining gems here and there, but if you want to be honest,
I think I gotta disagree with that. I think that the main point that people bought us an N64 for was a multiplayer. We're talking
oh,
about
the first four. Yep, you're right.
yeah,
Continue.
we're talking about GoldenEye. We're talking about Mario Kart. We're talking about Mario Party. We're talking about Smash Brothers. We're talking about Pokemon Stadium, which is not the fighting but the mini games. Those I spent lots of hours
You're right.
playing the Pokemon Stadium mini games. So if it was to be with your friends and have a great time with some pizza and soda, the N64 was the greatest. Um,
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
perfect party machine.
exactly. Um, and there's a little negative that is not the big deal because I don't have them anymore. But there's a lot of wounds that you can take off playing Mario Party in the N64, especially when you have to turn around the C stick, not the C stick, the stick controller.
The
Um,
actual analog.
You mean those
yeah,
calluses?
yeah.
Those
Oh my.
calluses on the palm of your hand? Yeah.
And
I was gonna get to that when it was my turn.
and the D-pad was so hard that it did
Yeah.
the same thing to your thumbs, especially when you're playing
Yeah.
Killer Instinct and trying to make those ultra combos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that was, you know, I mean, I mean, that was the N64. But I mean, when they made a game from the ground up for that system, it clicked, and that
Oh
was
yeah.
cool.
yeah, and yeah, that's the end of my argument here. Is the multiplayer. They even had I think they were the first
The first
console. Yeah, the first
four.
console to have four plugs for multiplayer.
Yep, it was. All right. You good, Casey? I'm moving on to Jamie
I'm
now
good.
on
Yeah.
this.
Mhm.
All right, cool, cool. Jamie, you're up, sir.
All right. I have two startling admissions. For one, I didn't have an N64 until like late '98, I think. And for two, I didn't really like GoldenEye that much.
What?
Blasphemy! You have to leave right now.
Okay, dude.
Um,
I'm
um,
gonna have to
okay,
eject
I'm
okay.
being
I'm gonna have to
facetious.
side with Jamie I didn't like it that much.
Okay,
I
we're kicking out
never
Casey and Jamie. Bye.
I never played the story mode. I only played it with friends, and that was
I
it.
just have one question. Well, you say you didn't play the story mode, but Jamie, you
Yep.
didn't enjoy shooting a guy in the crotch with the PP7 and watching him go ah and fall over?
Eh.
That's terrible. That's terrible. That was the fun of GoldenEye, was shooting people in strange places.
I've been shooting people in the crotches since Virtual Cop in '94 on the Saturn. So it wasn't really a big deal to me, but there were I didn't play a ton of the library, but I played pretty much all of the greats. Like, one of the things that really stuck out to me that I played a lot with a lot of people was the THQ wrestling games.
Oh, that was back when wrestling.
Those
games
were
was a
amazing.
shit.
Yep.
Wrestling games for the 64 generation was some of the best wrestling games of all time.
Oh, yeah.
I stand by those words, and I'm willing to battle people on that if I have to.
Yep.
No, I agree. That was the golden age of wrestling games.
As far as racing games are concerned, there's another one that I highly recommend, which a lot of people just go, "What? That doesn't even sound fun." Beetle Adventure Racing by EA.
That's the shit right there.
It
Sorry.
is the shit. I tell people the title, they're like, you like race on beetles, like the insects? I'm like, no. You race Volkswagen Beetles. Like, every car is a Volkswagen Beetle, just some variant of it. But the courses are designed so well, the shortcuts are set up to actually have, like, secrets, and they require skill to actually hit, and it was just very, very good game, and I very highly recommend it. If you emulate or even purchase the old school games, Beetle Adventure Racing is one of my top.
Yeah, that's a stupid title, and that's another thing. Sean Long actually started a retro gaming channel, and of course, you know, Metal Gamer, Metal, what was it, Metal Jesus? Damn, I
Yeah.
can't say his name. You know what I'm talking about?
Metal Jesus Rocks.
Yeah, Metal Jesus Rocks. If you love retro gaming, these guys can point you in the right direction. Don't worry, we'll try as well, because I've been gaming since '84, so
Oh, yeah.
I'll do what I can. But anyway, sorry, keep going, Jamie.
Anyway, the first game I played, of course, was Mario 64, and I would like sneak away to the Blockbuster that was like a half-mile away from my dad's house, just to like sit around the store as long as they would let me to play Mario 64. You know, that was before I had an N64, and I remember getting in trouble, really big trouble one time because of it. But it was worth it. What else was so great? Alright, so Beetle Adventure Racing, yeah. The Turok games were a lot of fun.
Oh my god, I love Turok. Well, I love Turok for the 64. I've heard they've bombed ever since.
Oh yeah, they were the ones on the N64 were fantastic. Oh, what else? You know, I gotta say the one thing that I found really ironic is, you know, everyone was like all up in arms about the N64 going to cartridge back in the day, and now like probably the best medium that you could go to storage-wise would be cartridge now.
Yeah.
Considering they can fit like 256 gigs on a micro SD card.
You know, say, you just pop in a USB drive or whatever, and you're good.
Exactly. And like a
Irony.
dual-layer Blu-ray holds like 50 gigs. So yeah, cartridges could hold a hell of a lot more these days.
I just think some people just like to complain about it.
Of course.
Well, yeah,
They
that's
just need something to complain
getting
about.
more and more people just exactly like we're here to game. Why people are arguing? I'm like, you're not here to game. You're just here to argue with people. Obviously. I'm like, dude, when was the last time you actually picked up a controller and played for longer than 10 minutes? Seriously, shut up and play. Anyways, keep going, Jamie. My fault.
What else? Okay, another admission. Never played Banjo and Kazooie.
See, now you really have to leave. I'm joking.
But I will tell you a good memory. I remember Conker's Bad Fur Day came out, and like I couldn't afford to get the game at the time, or I think that might have been before I had an N64, or after, I can't remember exactly. But a friend of mine called me up, and he was like, "Hey man, I got Conker's Bad Fur Day, but I'm really bad at these kind of games, but I really want to see the whole thing. I got the strategy guide. You want to come over and just stay the whole night and we'll play Conkers? And I'll just watch you? And I was like, yes.
That's how gaming used to be, bro.
I know. So of course I stayed at this dude's house and played Conquer all night while he watched and coached me from the strategy guide. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. By the way, the
Nice.
multiplayer of that game, flawless,
Yeah, it was great.
Yes.
especially with
Yes.
cheat codes.
And then of course they butchered the
Yes.
entire thing when they put it on the Xbox.
We will not talk about that game.
They censored the Great Mighty Pooh. Come on, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, how could you censor the Soprano? I'll never figure out, but whatever.
Oh, Nintendo's just a kiddie company, but that is the ones that censored Conker's Bad Fur Day, are they?
Well, it's hilarious that the definitive version of Conker's Bad Fur Day is on the original medium and not the HD up-res version. I was like, that's embarrassing,
I
but
know,
whatever.
I'll tell you, if Microsoft at E3 announces Conker's Bad Fur Day 2, I will buy an Xbox One.
I will too,
Especially if it's
I hate the
completely
Xbox.
uncensored like it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
But I think they already announced a Conquer game.
No,
yeah, I played it.
Don't you-
It is
You
a
troll. Don't go there.
all I'm gonna say is this: the sound of flushing describes that game.
Silence is golden.
Yeah, pretty much. Alright, well, that's it for me.
Okay, well, I guess it's my turn. Alright, before I start, here's my two confessions. I have never played Jet Force Gemini.
Same here, actually.
I have never played Conker's Fur Day. Ever. So I just had to get those two out of the way. Now that that's done, because you have to, dude, I'm telling you right now, I lived in the ghetto. I was poor. I was dirt poor back then.
You mean Poe, right?
You know what? Yeah, I can't afford the whole word. I'm po.
Poe.
Oh,
Poe.
And that's being generous. That's a small O. So that's small.
Yeah,
Po.
Poe.
I was po.
Mm.
So but my brother worked for Toys R Us at the time, so we actually had the Nintendo 64 day one. And I'll tell you
Nice.
this: the first time I popped in Mario 64 and I saw that face pop up and then, it's me, Mario, and that music kicked in. I can't describe the hype I felt at that time. And the way you could play with it sounds weird, but the way you could play with his face, I ain't gonna lie with you. I messed with Mario's face for a hot minute before I even played the game, just because you could. It was cool. I made him look like an elf. I did all kinds of weird things to see what I and you'd be surprised what you could make Mario look like. I made his mustache disappear.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Even
Anyways.
because of that, they make a whole mini game at a Mario Party, only based on that part of Mario 64.
It was fun if you took the time. There was actually a lot of creativity, and the amount they had to program to allow you to do all of that is that the attention to detail. That's what a lot of these games nowadays are lacking. Attention to detail can enhance or take away from a game. But anyways, let me get away from that rant. But Nintendo 64 had some of the best games I've ever played. I loved playing, although I prefer the GameCube version, Wave Race. Great series.
Yep.
Oh, the water effects, man.
Yes! It was the first of its kind, and they need to hurry the hell up and make a Wave Race for the Wii U. Seriously. Wave Race was one of my favorite games to play. It was different. It was fun. And they need to make a Stunt Race FXU. Because Stunt Race was awesome on the Super Nintendo. People are hating on that game and forgot about that game. Anyways, it takes too much time to tell you how much I loved the Nintendo 64. There's a lot of great games. I'll just say I said Mario 64 because that's what had the biggest impact for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
the Wave Race. Mario Kart, I don't put on the pedestal other people do, but I freaking love the battle mode. That's one of my favorite battle modes out of all of them. I will say I'm mad they took out the feather. I get why they took it out, but I'm still upset they took it out. Because that jump was bananas, and I loved it. What I hate about the 64, The controller destroyed my hands because I went in all those different games, like Turok. I freaking love Turok. Turok was one of my favorite games to play.
I mean, or it's like playing Mario Party.
Oh,
Mario
Mario
Party on the
Party, yeah.
N64, and you just wear that like nub right in the middle of your palm.
I yeah, I destroyed the controller. I destroyed my thumbs. I destroyed everything. I loved every moment of it.
including friendships.
To some degree, yeah. it, I regret nothing though, because I love the timing.
You're like, I regret nothing.
I regret nothing. So I'm not gonna waste everybody's time going on a tangent. I'll say that for another time. But yeah, N64 was awesome. The controller I have mixed feelings about. Comfort wise, it was revolutionary. It was awesome for its time, but it's not forgiving to your hands. It's not. Is it fun? Does it does great things? Yeah, but your hands will not like that controller. Period. And I will say,
Alright.
everybody knows me. I'm a huge RPG fan, and they fell short in that category. They fell really short. It fell so short. If it wasn't for the fact that my brother worked at Toys R Us, I might have actually skipped the N64.
Mm-hmm.
Because RPGs was, I mean, I've eased up somewhat, but RPGs was my life back then. It still is a little bit now, as you can tell. But yeah, and that's about it. I'm gonna move on. Now, we didn't really talk about the E3 speculations. Do you guys want to dive into that, or we save that for another time?
Where are we at recording wise?
Ooh, you know what? We'll have to save it for another time. I'm sorry, people have been listening for a while, but we ain't really got time to keep going because it's been almost an hour and a half now. And let me see. Yeah, it's been like an hour and a half. You guys, let me just look at the Q&A real quick. That way we can at least address anything from our listeners currently. Otherwise, I think we might close out. Do you guys want to chip in real quick about the E3 while I'm looking at the Q&A?
I would, but I've already done a podcast about E3.
We could always toss some of it into the. I believe we're still having our midweek show. Oh,
Yeah.
just to let you guys know, we are not having a podcast this Sunday.
Okay, cool.
So just to let you guys know one more time, we are not having a podcast this Sunday. It's one of our Gamers at Large holidays. So I apologize in advance to anybody who's looking forward to this week's Sunday's episode. We're not having it. But as far as I know, we're still having the midweek podcast. So if anything, we could throw that in there.
I don't think we're having a midweek podcast either, just because of the holiday weekend.
Oh, okay. My bad. Well then, uh, and I guess it's not gonna kill you guys. We'll be back next week. Sorry. Well, don't worry. We'll bring up more than enough content. If not, you could always check out the individual people within our network because we all make videos. So you might not get the main hub channel, but feel free to check out the individual channels. I'm sure you'll get some decent content. I will say Aiden Chronicles, I actually did like playing that. That was one of my favorite RPGs. It was actually my only RPG I played on the 64. Um, I want to bring up a question real quick from Yin Yang Yao. It kind of applies to me, but he doesn't realize that. To Butterwoody,
Yep.
welcome back. But seriously, you didn't see Banjo Kazooie? Dude.
No, haven't played Banjo-Kazooie, unfortunately. If I had an N64, or if they struck a deal with Microsoft to put the Banjo-Kazooie games on the Wii U Virtual Console, I would buy them and play them, because they are my type of games. Just
Okay.
didn't get a chance to back in the day. And I will get around to making more videos eventually.
Okay.
Life happens, though.
Yeah. And a free fall question for everybody. Which RPG on the 3DS do you want to see hit the Wii U? His pick is Fantasy Life. And Yin Yang Yao, well, everybody knows I'm on Crack Life. So I definitely would love to see that on Wii U. So what do you guys think? What RPG on the 3DS do you think should be ported over or improved upon to the Wii U?
For me, it would be Codename Steam. And that game would do really well on console, especially with the online multiplayer.
Mm, I won't say that, but because I mean, Codename Steam is more of a strategy game, but
I mean, but you can
Strategy
tweak
games
it.
rock,
Look,
dude.
you can tweak it and
to a
transform it
straight up
into a
RPG.
cover-based shooter, and you're good.
Yeah, yeah. Um, RPG. I would say Dark Sun. Sorry, Golden Sun. Dark
I
Dawn.
was gonna say, I figured you meant Golden. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that game. That game was criminally underrated. It's a Camelot game, and as Butterworthy can tell you, Camelot made all the really good Shining Force games
Yes.
until Nintendo stole them. So, I mean, come on, man, come on, give Camelot a chance. Come on.
And now that you mentioned that, he was my Isaac was my vote in the Smash Ballot.
Yes, I think they should add Isaac to the game. If they're gonna add friggin' Shulk, they should add Isaac.
Yeah.
Nothing against Shulk, but Isaac been around longer and he has more games.
Makes a
Yeah,
lot of sense if they put it.
he's in two of them directly, and you've got adult, grown Isaac in the third one. So I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Plus, he's really if you played Golden Sun, you know how badass he is.
Yeah, he's a very diverse, powerful character. I can't. Wow, there's way too many questions, and I don't want to leave them hanging. Anderson Aquila asked a lot of questions.
Cool. Oh, we can do it. You can do it in rapid fire, so we don't have to.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Let's wrap it up with questions, unless you guys want to bring something up. How about that?
No,
That's
just
fine.
wrap it up. Questions.
Yeah, I had a subject, but let's do it for the next episode.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Next question is Lupaccio. I hope I'm saying his name right. He's like, I'm the only human being who loved the N64 controller and has no problem with it. I find it's controlled perfectly from my hand. You can hold it in many different ways, and my controller is just as good as it was 20 years ago. And apparently he's using a pervy voice while he's saying that. For the record, I do like the controller. I just didn't like what it did to my thumbs. I destroyed my thumbs a lot, and
Wasn't
I
my
destroyed the
thumb, it was
analog.
my hand. The only reason, I mean, it was the palm of my hand. The only reason I don't hate the N64 controller as much as some other people is because I finally, like 10 years ago, went and got the two N64 controllers I have left customized, and I got a nice soft rubber thing put on the analog control stick, and I got the D-pad like soft rubberized and stuff. So it's all pimped out. I pimped out my N64 controller because
That's a straight custom job right there.
because I like the N64 and I still play a lot of games on it, and I got tired of hurting my hand, and I have huge hands now because when I got those gloves from Mario Party after Yamauchi made that Death Machine Mario Party that hurt people's hands. I'm being facetious. It's a fun game, but that's when all this mini game stuff started, and I never want to play mini game collection on a Nintendo console ever again.
So
Give me real games.
So WarioWare is not your scene then.
No, I like WarioWare. I mean, like having WarioWare on a handheld is perfect because you have those little small distractions. Mini game collections on a console. When you play a console, you want a deep, meaty gaming experience.
Okay.
Not, hey, WarioWare, wait, this guy's picking his nose, or this guy drank a potion, he's got to use the bathroom, and he ran out of toilet paper. Oh, better make sure you play all these mini games, or he's going to have an accident. Ooh! That's actually a stage in WarioWare.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't like the controller of the N64. Good thing that we have the Virtual Console on the Wii and the Wii U to solve that problem. I actually finished 2 games for the N64 on the Wii Virtual Console, which is a better idea than playing on the N64.
Well, I'm gonna lie to you. The nunchuck is a much more comfortable, in my opinion, version. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. Yeah. Um, you guys have any more to contribute? Because I'm moving on to the next question. All right, moving on to the next question. Um, this is from Tony Konami Karan. Since Bandai Namco is having a 30-minute E3 presentation, including an unannounced AAA game that you will not want to miss, do you guys think it's either Project Treasure or Pokken Arcade type game only for Nintendo systems? Thoughts,
Uh,
Ooh,
gentlemen?
that's a really hard question to answer. The
It
thing
is kind
is,
of.
because it's Namco Bandai and they are a third-party developer. I think that the Nintendo stuff that they have prepared, they're gonna announce it on the Nintendo conference in case Nintendo is not having a Nintendo conference and they're having like a digital event like they
They're
did
definitely
last
doing.
year.
They're definitely doing a digital event, but I think they might still do a partial conference
Yeah.
because they did rent out a hall. But that might be for the World Championship, so I don't know.
Okay, well, if they do, yeah, if they don't make the conference, that it would make sense, of course, to announce a Pokken tournament, or to announce a date for Pokken tournament and what is Project Treasure about,
Hmm.
and of course Project Cross Zone.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a sequel to it.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Okay, good point. Good point. But yeah, people don't realize Bandai Namco is actually one of the more friendly third parties with the Nintendo. So I don't know, because I mean they worked with them on Smash Brothers. They worked on them in Pokken, the Pokken Fighters. And there's the Tekken Tag Team Tournament too. So I mean, you never know. By the way, just to pick on Dr. Feelgood because he disappeared, kind of. What do you think?
uh,
Okay,
yeah,
the
nothing
camp,
apparently.
the camper fell asleep camping. Um,
It's a
we will.
legitimate strategy.
It is a legitimate strategy as long as nobody catches you.
And I will hunt your ass down. Trust me, I hate campers.
Okay, so we have an admitted camp hunter, CH in the house.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you, when I play in the game where I like create my own classes, I will specifically create a single class that is designed to hunt down campers. So if I ever catch campers, I'll switch out to that class,
I
and I
will
will
say,
find you and kill you.
nice. Well, I'm not a camper, but I will admit after playing the test fire, I think I've created a new class for me called the mobile camper, or the ink assassin is what I prefer to call them. Yeah,
All
beware
right.
the ink assassin, and I'll leave that alone.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Uh,
recommend camping and splitting it to me because there's this thing that exists called the Kraken, and I will release it on you.
Get cracking, son.
Yeah, gonna get cracking with the Kraken.
Exactly. All right. Let's see. Okay, Lupaccio voted for Pilot Wing 64 for Smash. To my list of Nintendo characters. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll move on. Much respect. You're confident in what you have to say. Anderson Archila says the Fallout developers have repeatedly shown desire to nuke everything again. Seeing the NCR as an affront to the post-apocalyptic setting, what do you guys think? Personally, I don't think they should be acting like, and the damn thing moved while I was reading it. You bastard. Let me select it. That's what I should have done. You rat bastard. Where'd it go? That's why I should have selected it before I started reading it. Let's just go. Sorry, Anderson. We'll have to move on to another question because I'm too lazy to find it. You can get mad at me later, bro. Sorry. Uh, does this sound promising? Third-person view on the TV like in previous Star Fox games, but with the camera pulled back further. Cock- I already said that before. Well, he doesn't know I said that. Pulled further back, cockpit view in 180 degrees, and I selected it. And okay, I hate you, Google Plus. I had that selected. Maybe somebody else should read the Q&A because. Oh no, here it is. Okay, let me try it again. Select. Select. It's not selecting. Google Plus menu will talk later. Anyways, guys, sorry, we're gonna be done with the Q&A. Do you, any of you gentlemen have anything you'd like to bring up before we start our sign-outs?
Go see Mad Max.
Or else
Or else.
we'll sick Mel Gibson on you.
Yeah, you don't want Mel Gibson coming.
don't want that. You don't want
Definitely
that.
don't want that.
We're
And
gonna
not Lethal Weapon Mel Gibson. We're talking crazy beard face Mel Gibson.
we're talking drunk, just pulled over by the cops. Mel
That's,
Gibson.
that's exactly what I was about to say. I gotta pay child support. Mel Gibson. All right, good peoples. Thank you for listening in. All the best. We are going to start our sign outs. So, starting this time from my right, Mr. Red Fox. Do you have anything you want to pimp or pass out before you sign out?
This Thursday I will be doing a Resurrection episode on Contra since Konami apparently doesn't care about their IPs anymore.
Dude, invite me. Sorry.
And this Saturday, myself and a few other guests, some of which may be in this podcast right now, will be having a spoiler-filled breakdown of Daredevil because, I mean, come on. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. And that's it. That's it. This weekend.
Here, here. KC, you're up.
I'm actually doing some research for my next video. It's about searching blue mascot that is abandoned by a company.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of research in the economics, the marketing, and everything that I'm trying to figure it out the Mega Man situation, and I'm trying to bring some light onto it. I'm still working on it, and eventually I'm gonna have that video up in my channel.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
So yeah, have a good night.
All right. Mr. Butterworthy.
Well, guys, this is Butterworthy. I made an appearance on YouTube. I take the next 3 months off now. So see you guys in a few months. No, I'll make a video as soon as I can. I was gonna make one tonight, and this ran long, and I feel like crap. And yeah, well, I'll get to making one eventually. Just personally, and I'm gonna let you guys know the secret, all the listeners and everything here. Personally, I've been dealing with a lot of back issues. I've had a lot going on in my life, and I haven't felt like making YouTube videos because if I did, I was afraid they'd come off too negative because I've been letting too much of the negativity rub off on me lately. So I've just kind of abstained. But you can still follow me on social media and see my old comments.
You need to play Kirby. Kirby, was that crap? I can't think of the damn game. The Wii U one that just came out. Rainbow Road.
Rainbow
Rainbow
Curse.
Curse.
Yes, you need to play that game.
Haven't played that.
You will find your happy place, my friend.
I'll take your word
Or
for
you
it.
will at least eat everybody in your way. Whatever works.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Well, Jamie, I hope you find your positive side more, bro. Dr. Feelgood. Let's make everyone feel good. That sounds weird. Whatever. And he's still gone. Alright, I guess he's off making someone feel good. Sorry, I shouldn't have said it on the main channel, but oh well. Alright, thank you for listening, good peoples. It's the Good Shepherd here. We unfortunately won't be having any more shows for the main Gamers at Large channel until next week. Of course, look at all the people within our network. I'm sure people will continue producing videos as we go along. I myself, I'm on vacation for the next 2 days, so I might actually put out a video or two. We'll see. Because unfortunately, I don't have back pains like Jamie, but real life can really put a damper on things. So I gotta handle my business first, because this is a hobby. It's a great hobby, but it's still only a hobby. So
Exactly.
we gotta handle our business first and foremost. Um, I do have a state of gaming continued coming out on Saturday. We're gonna talk about what's good, what's bad, and what we're gonna do about things. Put your money where your mouth is, people. And I totally messed that up, but whatever. Um, that's it. Does anybody have any more plugins? Because we're about to shut down.
Nope, none here.
All right, we're done. Everybody, thank you for listening. Have a great night. Game on.
I ain't got no money. I ain't got no teeth. I ain't got no credit. Let's
Yeah.
get freaky deaky.
You're like a homeless ghost.
You do realize that I'm clicking on the stop broadcast and it's not stopping, so everybody heard that.
I know. I just lifted that joke away from Richard Pryor.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and I'm still not stopping the broadcast.
So are we trapped here podcasting forever?
Well, you guys can. Y'all might be able to jump out. I think I'm stuck.
I'm gonna go out. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out, peoples. Please walk away and pretend you're not hearing the end of this cast. Thanks. And I'm clicking on stop broadcast. Later, peoples, and I hate you, Google Plus, right now. Sorry. And Hangouts.
Oh, we're stuck in purgatory.
No! It's okay. Where's my 3DS? I have to play Crack Life. Oh, and I gotta find my Vita because I gotta add my boy KC real quick.
This Gamers Large podcast will be 13 and a half hours.
Please enjoy every single second of it. Seriously, I'm just gonna close the whole window.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night. Take care, peoples. I'm out.
Yep. See everybody.
Peace. Game on.